Haley. So I am going to try to explain a little bit about Wave and why we feel it's best to use Wave and QuickBooks both. Preferably Wave for your personal accounts and then QuickBooks for your business accounts. So the reason we feel this way, and by we I mean Alicia and I, is because first of all, Wave is free. And whenever you use Wave for your personal accounts, you are able to pull the reports needed to fill out your accountable plan, or just the reports that you're able to see exactly where your personal money is going every month. Whenever you combine your personal accounts and your Wave accounts into QuickBooks both, unless you pay for a higher level QuickBooks, such as QuickBooks Essentials, it does not allow us to run the reports for each separate account. So what ends up happening is all of your income and expenses for both your personal and your business accounts get combined into one set of reports. This doesn't work because the goal of categorizing your personal accounts is to get you essentially more expenses for your accountable plan. Whenever the expenses are being combined together into reports, we're not able to actually pull out which are personal expenses and which were business expenses. The only workaround for this in QuickBooks would be to have a very messy chart of accounts where it would say, office groceries, personal groceries, office this, office or personal that. And it just gets very confusing. So the easiest way we found would be to use Wave for your personal expenses and personal accounts, and then use QuickBooks. And Simple Start QuickBooks is totally fine for all of your business expenses. So I'll show you in this video a little bit about Wave, and then if we need to go over QuickBooks in a separate video, of course, we can do that as well. Just let me know. Okay, so whenever you go to WaveApps.com, this is what you'll see. Now, I'm using a Mac, so if you have Windows, it could be slightly different, but it's a website, so the website itself will be fine. Just you might see the buttons being, in the wrong order on the screen, so just keep that in mind. So whenever you're on WaveApps.com, it's WaveApps.com. It looks like this. If you haven't made an account already, you're going to want to do one of two things: either email password to create your free account, or if you have Google, sign up with Google. I'm sure you're able to, sign in fine by yourself. If you get stuck, just let me know. I already have a demo account set up, so we're going to use that for this video. So once you actually get into your account and have it all set up, this is what it will look like. So I'm going to sign in. And bear with me, I hope it's been a couple weeks since I've used this. This is my demo account that I made to make videos, so it's called WaveApps Demo. So whenever you log in, this is what you see. So up here on the left, it says WaveApps Demo. On the left-hand side is your dashboard. You can ignore this for right now. Your cash flow will be listed in here. And if you scroll down, there's your profit and loss. If you use invoicing, here's where the invoice information and the bills would be, which we don't use invoicing and bills for the personal accounts for this purpose, but if you end up using Wave for anything else in the future, that is an option for you, and it is for free. Net income, you'll have some numbers in here. And again, this is a demo account, so you will see some information typed in here as we go. Your expense breakdown is down here at the bottom. Okay, so on the left-hand side, if you click on Launchpad, it just asks you how you want to set up your Wave account. So if you want to use this route, you would just click on Better Bookkeeping. And it wants to know how you want to import your information. So the best choice would be Import Data Automatically. And let's go. And you'll use this to import your information. If for some reason your bank does not allow Plaid, which I have a credit union and it does not allow Plaid, so I had to open a Capital One debit card checking account for use whenever I use Wave for like my personal use. So if for some reason it gives you an error message and you're trying to link a bank account and it's not allowing you to link yours, let me know. We won't be able to use Wave unless you want to open a new account, which I wouldn't either. So we would then have to upgrade your QuickBooks account to QuickBooks at a minimum Essentials. So we'd be able to do all of your bookkeeping in there. But so far, it seems like everybody but me is able to use Wave with their personal bank account. So let me know if you get stuck at this point, but we'll cross our fingers that everything works just fine. So once you type in your bank here and search it, and I'll just pick Citizens, you would just click Continue. And then type in, I don't have Citizens personally, but if you type in your information and hit Submit, it'll ask you what you want to bring in. It will ask you which dates of information you want to bring in. Only bring in for 2022 unless we are doing bookkeeping for a year before that. You can bring in as much as we need, just don't bring in, excessive data if we just don't need it. Once everything is brought in, you'll be able to see it under Accounting and Transactions. Now, I don't have an actual bank account linked here. I just have made up transactions on mine. Yours will have a very long list of everything that you brought in. If you get stuck bringing in, just let me know. I know I'm not really able to show it without bringing my own information in, and I don't want it in the demo account. But if you get stuck, I can definitely get you through that. So let's keep going down the dashboard here. So on the left-hand side, if you click on Dashboard, this is what we saw whenever we first logged into Wave. So if you ever want to see that screen again or see the charts, you would just click on Dashboard. Under Sales and Payments, this is where you would see if you would start using invoices. You can do estimates, take payments. You could do checkouts if you sell anything online. This is this category is set up for mainly people who run a small business that want to use these features. If we're only doing your personal account categorization and nothing else, you and I will not be using anything under Sales and Payments for what we're doing. Under Purchases, again, we don't use this category if we're only doing personal account categorization. This category is for people who actually would send bills and then track payments, but we don't do that with the personal account. So if I'm helping you for running a small business, we might use this, but for just the regular personal account categorization, we do not. Under Accounting, this is where we spend most of our time. So again, click on Transactions. This is where all of your transactions will show up. Once you sync your bank, they'll import into here automatically. If for some reason you're not able to sync your bank, there is a way to import your invoices into here, but you would have to remember to do that each month. And that's something that you would do. That's not something that I'm able to do. So we can also discuss that if needed, but we're going to cross our fingers again that we're able to bring in your bank account information automatically. And this is where it all shows up. And we'll go over these more in detail. I just want to go over here first. So under Reconciliation, if I'm helping you set up for a small business, we'll have a contract, and I do reconciliation for businesses, but I do not do reconciliation for a personal account categorization because we really are only pulling expenses out for the accountable plan. There's really no reason to reconcile your personal account because it's your personal spending. This is only used for businesses and business accounts. Your chart of accounts is the chart of everything. So when I go to categorize, these are the categories that we will use. So for the anesthesia students, there's a pretty standard chart of accounts that Alicia and I have come up with. And I will send you basically just a list of them for you to approve. We can, of course, make any changes as needed, take away, add to it, whatever you want. But some of these might include office supplies, personal items, child expenses, pet expenses. We would then do travel, for airfare, travel meals. All of those things you'll see under chart of accounts, and they would be shown under expenses. You'll see that these are all here already. These are the default categories that open up whenever we set up a Wave account. So if you don't use any of these things, I know there used to be one on here for a wired phone, a home phone. Most people don't have those anymore. In that case, we actually would be able to edit the account, and we actually would be able to hide that feature. We don't need to have any accounts on here that we're not actively using. We're able to make them archive, and then if we need to bring them back later, we can always bring them back later if needed, and we can always add new ones in at any time as well. So that's what the chart of accounts is. And again, I will send out a list of the ones that we typically use if you're one of my anesthesia students, and then we would just, tweak it based on your actual needs. Okay. So hire a bookkeeper is if you want to be actually hiring somebody under Wave. I do not work for Wave. This is something that they have on their own, but this is an option they give you. Under banking, Wave actually has their own checking accounts now, and that's what this is for. So if you would choose to use a Wave checking account, that's what Wave Money is for. They give you a debit card. You're able to use that just like a regular bank. This is actually something I'm trying myself starting January 1st for my own business. So if you want more information on it in the new year, let me try it out for a few weeks and then we can talk about it if it's something you want to look into. I haven't tried it yet. I'll be setting it up again for January 1st, 2023. Connected accounts, this is where you'll see a list of all the bank accounts that you're connecting. Keep in mind, if you're only connecting personal accounts, please do not connect anything related to your business. If we're using Wave strictly for your personal needs, don't link any business accounts. We only want your personal account. If you have your mortgage and you don't pay that with any type of business money, that could go here. But this is typically only for your actual everyday personal spending. Do not add business accounts unless we're setting up for business use as well. Also, as a side note that I forgot to mention earlier, we are able to use Wave for both personal and business. So if you decide that you don't want to pay for QuickBooks anymore, or you like Wave better than QuickBooks, there is a way that's very simple to set up for personal and business use both. And I will go over that here in a few minutes. So, whenever you click on payouts, if you actually would set it up, that's how you get paid if an invoice gets paid for you. So, you would set up for the money to go in your bank account. Wave offers insurance. I've never looked into this. I don't really know anything about it. This is a newer button that showed up on here, but we really don't need it for anything that we're doing. But we can always, look at it together if it's something anybody ever wants to look into. Wave does have a payroll feature. I have personally never used it because I don't run payroll. I know they do charge for the service, and I think they charge you once per month. So it's not something I would definitely be willing to learn how to do it if anybody needs payroll services done through Wave. However, at this time, I have never done payroll with Wave. I've only ran payroll at a previous employer using QuickBooks. And then at the bottom down here under reports, you don't typically run your own reports. I'll run them for you, and I put them on Google Drive for you to download as a PDF. If you ever want to run your own reports, this is how you would do it. You would click on reports, and here's your list of reports. This list, as you notice, I'm sure you've all seen QuickBooks. It's much longer. These are the basic reports. The top 3 here is the 3 that I will give you for your CPA, but these are all of the options that you have if you need any additional reports. And then at the bottom down here where it says settings, this is where you can set up just a couple of questions. So if you want to invite me as an accountant, you would do it under here. So you would go to settings and then users and then admin. If you add me as anything other than admin, it doesn't give me the full access that I need to your account. I have tried to do it under all of these other options to see which ones work best, but admin is the best one. So if you are adding me as an admin to do your bookkeeping, you would want to use this admin feature. And when you click on it, you would enter my first name and last name. So first name is Kaylee, K-A-L-I, and then last name is Gleto, G-L-E-T-O. My email, which is kaglito@gmail.com. Position, accountant bookkeeper, and then admin, and you would invite user. This will send me an email telling me that you added me and I need to add you back. I'll click accept, and then your account will show up under my login. I never need your login for Wave. I have my own. Once you add me as an admin, I log in as myself and I can see all of your information. Okay, so in order for you to get set up in Wave, we've kind of gone through the menus here first. So the next thing is to actually get you set up for me. So up here on the top corner where mine says WaveApps Demo, yours when you first open your Wave account is going to say personal. We need to make a slight change to this because if you leave it as personal, it comes over to me as personal and I would have a long list of personal and not know who they are for. It's a very easy fix. So we click on the arrow up here and you're going to create a new business. And as you can see, mine says personal. That's what yours would say, it would just be personal. So create a new business. And I understand a lot of you are using this for personal categorization. That's okay. It does not matter. Just create a business. So your company name, you're going to put your name, first name and last name, and then type personal. Type of business. You can basically pick whatever you want. I typically pick the consultants and professionals whenever I set this up. And then other consultant. It doesn't actually matter what you choose. You can literally pick anything and it would not matter. Country, United States, US dollar, type of organization. Because this is for your personal account for this one, sole proprietorship, and save. Once you do that, again, mine says my name, Kaylee Glito, personal. And then you save it. Whenever you click on the arrow up here, it's going to show here. So you would show personal, and then your second option would be, mine would be Kaylee Glito personal. That's what we need. So you're never actually going to import your accounts into the one that says personal. You're going to leave the personal one totally blank. We don't want to use that one at all. You want to use the one that says your name and personal. And that way, whenever you link with my account, I'm able to see which account is yours because that is the only way for me to know that. If we're also using Wave for Business, you would do the same thing. For the company name, you would put your actual company's name. So my company name is Glito Unlimited LLC. And then at the end, you would type your name. Again, you could pick whichever one of these you want. And then type of organization, if your business is a sole proprietorship, you would pick that, partnership, or mine's an LLC, so I would pick corporation and save. The type of organization truly does not matter. You could pick whichever one you want. If you always want to pick sole proprietorship, that's fine. If you want to pick what it actually is, that's fine too. This does not affect the bookkeeping in any way. So you can really pick whatever you want. It does not matter. Once you have that set up, if you already set up your personal and you have a business both, you would see personal. And then the second one, you would see Kaylee Glito personal. And then the third one, you would see Glito Unlimited LLC, Kaylee Glito, or whatever your business name is, and then your first and last name. That way, whenever you link with my account, I have a long list here. Mine shows everybody's. So I would see yours personal, yours business, Alicia's personal, Alicia's business, or, everybody's in this big long list right here. Okay. Let me think what I missed here. Oh, under accounting, go to transactions. So once your accounts are actually imported into here, it's going to be a big long list. So we're going to choose this one down here, the March 4th, 2022. You won't have to type in here because your bank will import the information. So it's going to say Amazon. This will say, mine would say PSECU and then my account number. Or if you use Capital One credit card, it would say Capital One and then whatever the number is. Mine says checking account because mine's just a dummy account, but yours would actually say the account that the transaction was for. The category would actually say, like this top one right here, it would show as uncategorized expense because it hasn't been touched yet. And then we would actually categorize it. So for Amazon, typically it's an office supply or office expense. And bear with me, mine is not set up for anesthesia. This is just dummy. So this would actually say office supplies right here. Like this one right here. I would choose office supplies. The amount is already there. As you can see, it's green, so that was a credit, which means I returned something or whatever. And I apologize, I misspoke. I didn't realize that number was a positive. So that actually would be a return. So under here, it would actually be a refund for expense, and then it would be for whatever you bought because you returned something. So I pick refund for, whatever it was. Let's just say professional fee. So you would have a charge for professional fee, and then you got a refund for professional fee. So then if it was the same amount, it would zero out. If there was a difference in money, obviously your reports would show whatever the difference is. Whenever I'm done categorizing a transaction, I'll click this little green check mark right here, which shows that I reviewed the transaction. If I have questions for you about the transaction or we need to go over it further, I will not check it. It would look like this right here, the gray one. If it's green, you'll know I'm done with that transaction. As you can see right here, for March 28th for Target, there's a receipt attached. You are not required to attach receipts. However, if you want to, that is totally up to you. It is not a service I offer. However, I'm more than willing to show you how to do it really quick. It's very simple. So once the transaction is already imported from your bank, this little picture would not be here yet because we haven't attached it. There's an arrow on the right-hand side for a menu. This one, it would say upload receipt. You would click on upload receipt. And it's a pop-up, and I apologize. I don't want to get out of my window that I'm currently in here. Give me 1 second. So this was my attachment. It's actually a sticker that I make for my business. So your receipt would show up in this screen right here. Once the receipt is attached, if you would click on the arrow again, that's when you would see the view receipt, and the receipt would show up after it's uploaded. If you click edit more details on a transaction, it looks like this. You typically don't want to change anything here. However, you're more than welcome to write notes. If there's something that you want to remember about a transaction, feel free to type notes here. I don't use the notes section. I would just email and ask you a question, so don't feel like you ever have to look in the notes for anything because I would not remember to check those notes again back from you. If you want to use the notes, feel free. I do not use them, so they will always be blank. The only thing I will use the edit more details for is the split transaction. So say you went to Walmart and you spent $300. $150 of it was for your personal expenses for groceries, and $150 of it was for office groceries. So it's for, food for your shift, or, if you have a long day and you're working both jobs and you're eating in between, or you're taking groceries into your office to eat whenever you can, and half and half. So we would split it half and half. So this transaction isn't the correct amount, of course, but I would type in $150, and it would be for groceries personal. And then I would type in $150, and it would be for office groceries. Office groceries are tax deductible, which is why we would split it out to make sure that you're able to deduct the groceries that you bought for work. Typically, the split that is used for the most common shopping is 80-20. So it would be 80% personal expense, 20% business expense. I do send out a spreadsheet, and I believe it's also on the contract as well, having you verify that 80%, 20% is a fair representation of your spending. If it's not, it can be adjusted. Now, what I used to do was go through every individual transaction, and I would split them out. I can tell you that takes forever, and it would take a significant amount of time that's over 4 hours per month, which is what I'm currently offering as my package deal. So instead of splitting it 80%, 20% on each individual transaction, if there are a lot of transactions for, say, Amazon, I will search Amazon. I will get a list of all of your Amazon transactions, and I'll go down the list and I will divide them out as close as I can to 80-20. So the first one, I would say it's personal. The second one would be supplies. The third one might be office expense. The next one, again, would go back to supplies. Or if you had some home office like furnishing, we could go that route for some Amazons as well. If you don't like this system for anesthesia, you have to let me know. It's the most common use that I've used so far for students. However, if it's something you're not interested in doing, just let me know, and I will make notes of however you want your categories to be done for you. I can tell you how Alicia does it. That's actually how I do it for Alicia, is because, most people are creatures of habit. So they go to the same gas stations, they go to the same grocery stores. So I know, the places that she goes all the time, and I'll search, for her grocery store, and then I'll go down the list and split it. If it's a large transaction, like a couple $100, and I know that wasn't all food for her house, I'll give her a 50-50 split or more. Because I know, she was traveling for work, or I know that she was doing whatever. So it's very important to let me know if you're traveling, or if, what your spending is. It feels like I'm being nosy sometimes. However, the more I know, the better I can categorize for you. Just remember, I've never met any of you in person. I live in Pennsylvania, and I know everybody else has lived in different states other than me. So we all have different grocery stores. We all have different gas stations. So just because I go to Sheetz for gas, I have never seen anybody else go to Sheetz for gas because there isn't Sheetz down south, which is typically where all my students have lived. So just keep in mind, the more information you give me, the more I can make this, as close to being perfectly accurate as possible. Also in my contract, I make note that, as I'm doing your bookkeeping, please check what I'm doing. And if you see something that's been wrong, month after month, please let me know. I'm not perfect. I don't know you. I don't know your spending. I'm just doing this based on, good judgment. I Google search the restaurants and see what they are. But please let me know if something's not right. But also, if you're responsible for your own books. So just because I'm doing your bookkeeping for you, and I'm trying my best to get them correct, it's ultimately your responsibility to make sure that the work is correct before you submit it to your CPA. Now, that being said, if you make changes, you have to rerun the reports. So whenever I send you the reports for the month, I don't go back and look through the transactions again because I mark them as done. So to me, they're done. So if you change something or, we go back through and change something, we have to rerun the reports. So please remember that, if we make changes to the transactions, once you see these green check marks right here, we have to make sure that the reports get reran so the reports match the bookkeeping. The reports I give you are the ones the accountants have asked for. We can get additional reports if needed. Again, you go to reports and there was that list over there of all the ones that are available. But keep in mind, if we're making any changes, once a month is full of green check marks, we also have to rerun reports because once the reports are ran, I don't go back through. Okay. Let me think what else here. I think that's it for this video. Let me know if I missed something or if something needs reclarified. I haven't made a video for a while, so I'm a little bit rusty. But if you need help or any more help setting up or getting ready for me to do your bookkeeping, let me know. I'm always available via text. I do work during the week, but I try to answer as quickly as I can. And as always, I do work later at night once I get home. So just let me know if you need help or if you have everything set up and ready to go. If you are one of my students that is transitioning from QuickBooks with your personal accounts over into Wave, just a reminder to take any of the personal accounts off of your QuickBooks. So at the end of, transitioning, we only want Wave to have your personal accounts and we only want QuickBooks to have your business accounts. If you're one of my students that is using Wave for both personal and business, please make sure that whenever you're setting up the accounts that are here, all of your personal is under the one that says personal, and all of your business accounts are under the one that's your business name and then your first and last name. That keeps everything nice and tidy. And, just keeps me moving, and I don't want to delay you. You don't want to delay me. So that's the best way to set everything up. If for some reason Wave does not work for you and you need to either upgrade QuickBooks or we need to talk about, what our next steps are, just let me know and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.